Hello my friends, today we are on the magical world of Photoshop and I am going to show you my plugins that I use, the ones that I cannot live without, and then the ones that I have and not use so much, but they're still great. So if you're interested, you can get them yourself. I am going to start with my toolbar over here on the right, and then we'll go into the plugins and filters and show you all kinds of stuff that you might be interested in. First, I have the TK8 panel. This is a very complex, very useful panel. You can have shortcuts like flatten your, layers, duplicate layers, choose a brush. If you see over here, look at my brush on the left side. I can quickly choose a black brush. I can choose a white brush. I can choose a color brush that I can choose whatever color I want, or I can choose a 50% gray brush. It has many shortcuts. It has lots of little actions that you can use. You can put your own actions, shortcuts in here. It's just a great panel to have, and I use this one all the time. Part of the TK8, it's also their luminosity masking. You can do luminosity, color, you can do all kinds of masking here. And the way it works, you click on the luminosity, and then you have the darks on the very left, you have the whites on the very right, and then you have the midtones, and by clicking on them, you can pick the brightest parts, and so on, more and more whites, and then the same with the darks. You can choose and make selections of the midtones only if you want. You have a few selections here, and you can further refine your mask. For example, let's say I want those very bright parts of the sky, but then I want to select them even more and make them brighter. I can use a level and make those whites whiter. And then let's say I want to add some orange into it. I can just choose a curve tool, and it already has the mask that I selected, the luminosity mask. And then I can add maybe some reds in it, maybe some yellow to create some oranges. And just like that, we create a very complex mask. I use luminosity masks all the time, so pretty much all of my photos. And this is the before and after, before and after. And yeah, you can do all sorts of things with this panel. I love the TK8. Similarly, I'm gonna delete this really quick. Before I got the TK8 panel, I used to use lumensia. And this is another useful one. It works kind of the same thing. You have your darks, and then once you choose darks, then you can just adjust how much of the darks you want by this slider. So you can choose just a little bit of the darks, like the very blacks, or you can go more into your midtones just by adjusting the slider. Same thing with the lights. You can go to the very lights, only pure white almost, and then increase it, and you will make a luminosity mask really easily using this adjustment. You also have, you can do your curves and contrast, dodge and burn, all kinds of things. You have your midtones, and it works pretty much like TK8. It's just a little bit more simpler, and that's how you would use the lumensia mask. I'm gonna erase this. Next one over here is the NBP. I have the ColourmapX. I have a whole video about it. ColourmapX, it's something that I use all the time. It's so handy for doing color grading. The way it works in this image, for example, I want to analyze the image and extract the color palette. All you have to do with the image open, just click on Analyze, and it will pick a color palette. I chose 5 colors over here. You can change it if you want. And once you have the color palette, then you will go to your image and just apply the color grading. And it will apply that color grading. Let's see, this is the before and after, before and after. And then you can save as preset. I have all kinds of, color gradings saved, and you can apply them later on. That's the way it works. I have a whole video about it. You can go and watch it. And by the way, any of these plugins, if you're interested to know more about it, let me know and I can make separate, more detailed video about it. Next one over here, it's texture, Adobe Paper Texture. And this is where I keep my textures. And when I need them, I can just go click on one and it applies it. And let's see. yes, the blending mode is a lighten, but I can change it to soft light. I can change it to whatever I need. And this is where my textures are. Moving on my toolbar over here, I have, let's see, this is Infinity Color. This is a great one for playing around when I just have time and I have an image that I just really don't know which direction to take it when I edit. I will just go here and click on this create, and it will just give you a whole bunch of color gradings. Every time you click, something new comes out, and sometimes might be something that you would not normally do, but you like it. Or maybe, let's say I like this one, but I only like it in the shadows. Then I can go create a mask with one of those luminosity tools that, you know, I showed you before. And then I'll come back to the Infinity Color and I'll keep clicking until I get a great color grading that I like in the highlights. And then using those luminosity masks, I can only select the highlights, and that way I will color grade my image in a complete unique way that normally I would probably not do it. And you see, every time I click, something different comes out. I am going to delete that and we are moving on. Next one over here, this is Infinite Textures. It's made by the same people. And I'm actually never using this panel because I use Visualizer, which is part of the same thing. I will show you in a second. Next one is the Infinite Black and White. And this will create black and whites, the same thing at the color ones. Every time you click, you get a different results. And sometimes you'll find something. You usually will need to tweak it around afterwards, but it will be a good starting point. As you can see, every time I click, different results are showing up. And that's how I use that. Next one over here, this is Visualizer, and this is what I use for textures. The way it works, it will give you some textures here, and let's say I want something that looks like this. I'll click on it and this becomes the middle. And now if I don't want that exact one, I can reshuffle and some new ones will come. And now let's say, well, I like this one better now. Now I'll go to that and I can shuffle until I find the perfect one I like. And let's say I'm gonna erase this infinite one over here, the black and white. Let's say this is the one I like and I absolutely love. I will click on the plus and it will load as a smart object into my layer panel. And now I have a texture that I can use. You see, it's right here. Of course, I will have to size it to fit my image and so on. Another cool thing about this plugin is that it has different, like you see, for example, if I want to add a bird, an eagle into the sky, I can just click that and it has different poses of the eagle. And then I can just click on plus and it will add that to my image as a smart object. And of course, I will have to resize it and, you know, place it wherever I want. But it has all kinds of birds in here. It has, let's see. So those are the animals. They have backdrops. What else they have? Let me close the backdrops. They have elements. So you can get some really, you know, cool flowers and all kinds of things. They have light, so you can get cool light rays. I'm gonna erase this owl just so you can see. Let's say I wanna go to the lights. And let's see, something like that. Then I can pick all kinds of lights from here, see which one I want, which one will work for my image. This is a basement window light. I can work with that. Let's say I wanna add that. Of course, it will make no sense in this particular image. By the way you will do it, you will choose it and apply it. Then you will just change it to screen. It's already on screen. You can see it here. My image is not great. It doesn't show because my image is too bright for it. So, but if you'll have to use it in the right image. This is not the right image. It will make no sense to have a window light over there. But, you know, that's what that plugin does. Let's move on. This is Pexels. I had a whole video about Pexels. This is where you can get absolutely free stock images for your use. You can use them however you want, copyright free. And they have a whole bunch of, you know, they have landscapes, sky textures. You can search for whatever you want. For example, I have over 6,000 photos donated to Pexels for you guys to use. And I know, for example, I donated a whole bunch of chipmunks, so I know if I type in chipmunk, I'll probably see some of my images in here. Let's see. There you go, that's one of my images. It says Skyler Ewing. If you click on Skyler Ewing, it will not take you to my page with all my photos. You'll have to go into the web and on Pexels and click on Skyler Ewing. But this is, how you use Pexel. If you, let's say you want to use that photo, all you do is just click on it and it will place it into your layers at a smart object. And there you go. Now we have the picture of the chipmunk. I'm gonna delete it. That is Pexels again. Moving on, do I have anything else? There's no more plugins over there. We'll move over here to plugins. And this is the same thing we went through: lumensia, Pexels, TK8, and then we'll go to filters. Once we are on filters, I use the Anthropics Portrait Pro. I have a whole video about it. This is where you will edit professionally portraits. Very easy, slider based kind of program. And then I have Boris FX. This is a really cool one. You can add all kinds of effects like light leaks, color grading, and just all kind of effects. I'm gonna show exactly what it looks like. You see, this is all your flares and such. There's like hundreds and hundreds of flares to choose from. Let's choose one just for the fun of it. I don't think anything will work with my photo, but I'm gonna go on this one and it will show over here. It makes no sense for this image, so I am going to erase it. But you get all kinds of styles. You can get window lights in here too, that you can just place them into your image. Again, for this image, none of this will work, but you have so much stuff that you can pick. Textures, window lights, key lights, lens flares, glow edges. You have like color. You can do all kinds of enhancing, and there's lots of things to play with. I can make a whole video about it if you guys want to see it. I am not going to save that. And moving on, my next plugin that I have here is we already went through the ColourmapX. Next is the Nick collection. And out of these ones, I use ColourFX Pro 4, and I use Evenza and silverfx Pro 2. ColourFX Pro, there's just a lot of filters. My favorite one out of these ones is the detail extractor. When you have some highlights that are blown out or darks that are, too dark, it just increases the dynamic range. And this is the detail extractor. But you have all kinds of effects in here that you can play with, and we will not go into that today. The next one I have, let's see, the Nick collection is the silverfx Pro. This is for making blacks and whites. It's a whole bunch of filters that you can choose from and alter, and you see them over here on the left side. You can scroll through them. There's so many of them, and then when you see one you like, you can click on it, and then you still have controls on the right side to alter it to make it perfect the way you want it. Let's move on. We'll go to filters, and we have Evenza. It's kind of, let's see, I'll go to it. It's more like let's see if I remember how to use this one. I don't use it so much. This works with control points. So you click somewhere, and then you have all these controls. The controls that are on the screen, they're also the ones that are on the right side. So first you can increase or decrease the amount, like the space you wanted to alter. So let's say I just want to do the sun there in the center, and you can maybe, I don't know, what should we do here? Like we increase the warmth. You see, we can add more orange. Of course, it doesn't look so great. And let's say the brightness, we can make it brighter. Anyway, this is the way you would work with this plugin. I don't use it so much. I used to play with it a long time ago, and then I just kind of gave up on it. Let's see another one, filter. The next one is Skylum software. I have a lot of videos about this. Luminar 4 and Luminar AI I never really use, and Neo I just recently started using it to make tutorial for you guys. My normal workflow is usually Lightroom and Photoshop, but I had to learn this program just to make videos for you guys, and that's what I've been doing. Next one, it's Topaz Labs. This is one that I cannot live without, especially the denoise. It's a very simple way to remove noise in your images. When you click it, very few sliders and buttons to push, and it works great every single time to remove even the biggest noise you have in your images without removing too much information. It has a few like presets. It has standard, clear, low light, severe noise, and raw. I pretty much 99% of the time I use standard, and then you can turn on for the program to figure out whichever one of the programs works best for you, and pick the settings for you. I usually go on normal, and I never go over 15 on either one of these guys, and then just apply it, and it will apply onto your image. So Denoise AI, definitely the best plugin I cannot live without. Next one, it's Lens Effects. This one is more like a toy. Like, I never really use it because it's just, I don't know. You can add all kinds of lens. Let me see if I can find one here to show you what I mean. Like this kind of effect where it just makes like weird stuff. And I don't know why you would use any of this. I can imagine for some abstract images it might be fun to play with it, but for my style of shooting and editing it just doesn't make any sense, so I never really use it. I'm gonna cancel out of this one. And then the next one I have, let's see, Restyle. This is another one that I used to play with long time ago, not so much anymore. I use it for color grading, and I kind of stay away from it. I outgrew it. It's fun to play with it. If you're a beginner and you don't really know how to edit photos, this could be kind of cool. For example, it has all kinds of presets here for architecture, fashion, and whatever. This is a seascape, so I'm going to go into that. And let's say we'll pick this one. And there you go. Now we have a preset. Of course, it's too much, but you do have opacity slider, and you can change all the settings here as you want to alter. So that you go, you see, this is just an easy way to color grade. This is the original, and this is after. And you can reduce the opacity even more if you need, and just, make it work. As I said, if you're a beginner photographer, this might be worth it. And it'll save you some time, steer you into the right direction. Next, let's go back to filters. We went to Restyle Sharpen Ai. This is another one that, I don't know, a lot of people swear by it. I never really liked it, but recently they've made some great updates, and now it really works properly. Plus, they have a better masking. So they have so many, they have like 10, 11 kinds of, presets over here. And then also they have select. You see, like if you turn this on, you can select the subject. You'll see you'll find the subject really well, usually works well. Or you can select the sky or the foreground. You can make like, manual selections, and it works a lot better than it used to. It did save some of my wildlife photos where I got motion blur, where the bird's eye was not in focus, and this program was able to save some of those images. So it's growing on me again. I used to not like it. It's taking a long time to update. It's updating all this previews. And there you go. You see the selection of the person. It just found it because it's on auto select subject. If I go to skyline landscape, Let's see what it selects for that. And there you go, it selected the person and the foreground, not the sky. And anyway, I can make a video about that if you would like, but for now we are gonna move on to, what do we have? We did Sharpen Topaz Studio 2. This is one that I used to absolutely love. It's kind of like Lightroom. It's a full program that you can do all your edits in it. It does have some cool features and it works really well. When it opens, you see it has looks, which is like presets, and you'll get your presets there, or it has filters, which is all the tools. Let's see. Oh, that's the favorite, filters. So we'll get all kinds of adjustments, just like you'll get in Luminar Neo or Lightroom. You get all your normal basic and creatives and motion blurs and edge exposures and color teams and everything you can think about it. You have it here, and it works with the plugins as Denoise, Sharpen, and Mask AI. Mask AI, it's a pretty cool plugins. I have it. I don't use it as much, but if you're not good at making masking, Mask AI could make it easier for you. And that is all the plugins I have and use or not use so much into my Photoshop. I hope this video was useful to you, and now you have a better idea of what kind of plugins are out there in the world. If it's something you're looking for and you saw it in this video, let me know and I can make a more detailed tutorial about it. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Skyler Ewing and I will see you in my next video.